Zo Loft and get your head right.
All right, head right, homies. Welcome to the Zo Loft, your head right hangout. I hope that y'all's week is still off to a groovy start. Hey, some people's week, they start off, on Sunday. For some people, their weekend is Tuesday and Wednesday. Whatever, we keep it conventional up in here, man. Don't get me more confused than I already am. It's Tuesday, it's still the early part of the week, and I hope it's going groovy for you. And that being said, let's kick off with something ungroovy, man. Ozzy Osbourne. Actually, well, this is what we're gonna try to get to. If I can get past my jaw jacking. Ozzy Osbourne has passed away. Astronomer CEO resigns after getting caught on Coldplay Kiss Cam. Ooh. Listen to ooh, I'ma tell Jesus. Okay. Listen to this Delta pilot tell his passengers why he had to take evasive action to avoid a hulking B-52 bomber. Love Shack, baby, over North Dakota. Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg, DOT, spent $80 billion on DEI grants, delayed air traffic control upgrades, records industry insiders. Legendary rock star could spend more than a decade in prison. Can you guess who that is? Barack Obama suggests men need gay friends. Okay, old Barry, you want to be my friend? Oh, sorry. To learn empathy and kindness. Gay men order surrogate to let baby die after she delivered early due to cancer diagnosis. Some funding tips for panic leftists. And the Pakistan hacks at PBS. Let's see. Speaking of which, to update on that story, I think Jon Stewart did like some sort of presentation, if you will, a profane language, profanity-filled presentation. I guess concerning this cancellation with PBS or Colbert or whichever. Yeah. I don't care. Anyway, you can get mad if you want to. He's always mad. So let's back it on up to.
Chat's already. Oh my goodness. Do you
We got-
wish to know or not?
we got some OMG vibes going on up in there. Yeah. What's going on? They're usually
Jay for
funnier
the
than I am.
win. He says Pete and Barry eat Snickers upside down.
I have no idea what that means, but that sounds hilarious. Oh.
And Cranky is saying
Get some
I
nuts.
might not
All right.
stick around tonight. I might go with you, Cranky.
Y'all come back here this instant. Just put on a raincoat.
No.
You know we're gonna try to keep it clean and PG-13 because we respects the women folk. We like making y'all blush too. All right, so she's now her face isn't red from blushing; it's from squinting, like hard squinting. Ooh, she giving me that Esther squint. Fred Sanford, you old heathen. All right, so Ozzy. Okay, so now my big concern, and forgive me, y'all, because I don't mean to go wee in the punch bowl or anything like that. I mean, for me, being a big fan of heavy metal, and y'all know that I play heavy metal music. Of course, Black Sabbath is. I wasn't as big into Black Sabbath, as I reckon a lot of people are, but as in terms of their influence having a little bit of flavor in my music, just a little bit of that, that metal sludge that's in there, that kind of grindy, bluesy groove. I really like that stuff, and I like that flavor, that comes into to add it to my music, and so he's pioneering, and with Black Sabbath, I think Black Sabbath definitely more pioneering. Ozzy's time with Black Sabbath was definitely a lot more pioneering than his solo stuff. I would say I wasn't as much of a fan of Ozzy in the '80s. I'm probably definitely an oddball as far as that goes. I mean, his career really skyrocketed in the '80s, but that definitive. I mean, even his '80s stuff was still definitive. I just didn't really care for it as much as I like the stuff that he did with Black Sabbath. But the thing for me though is, as Ozzy, was heading out, and he declared that, he's like, hey, man, I'm gonna die. Ain't no getting around it. It's on its way. And this isn't even so much about Ozzy as it is, for his fans. It's a sad thing for me because Ozzy was more confident. Was more confident in declaring, hey, I know I'm about to die. And he faced that with more confidence, and he wanted his audience and his fans to know that he was more confident about that than he expressed confidence in accepting who the Lord is. He was more confident in facing death than he was confident in facing life. The Lord is life. You see what I'm saying? The Lord he's life, y'all. And when you have all your fans, like encouraging you and all that, so where were the fans that say, hey, man, it's like, do you really think that if you're being a fan of Ozzy and his friend, and someone expressing love to him by saying, yeah, Ozzy, you're so brave in accepting death. Y'all, if death is the thing that you accept, and death is the thing that you say, hey, I'm ready to face you and embrace you, well, then that's where you go. And death isn't the end, it's a prison. And that's a sad thing. I'm not trying to kind of, cast a shadow on, trying to celebrate his life. But the thing is, it's really sad because if you're really his friend and if you really love him and stuff like that, well, tell him the truth. Ozzy wanted to be, his legacy was to be the Prince of Darkness. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Ozzy was all about evil and all that sort of stuff, but that's the name that you wanted for yourself.
Can you just be a character for your line of work?
Yeah, I mean, totally. It totally can. I get it, but I think it's one of those things where he put more emphasis on being the Prince of Darkness, but hey, it's like, but just to keep it real, y'all, I may have this persona of the Prince of Darkness, but I'm a servant of light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My fidelity, the Lord is my king. I don't know if I've ever heard Ozzy express that. I don't think I've heard anybody really encourage him to do this. No, Ozzy, just do you, man. Be the Prince of Darkness, man. You're a pioneer. You're this, you're that, and all that sort of stuff. What's up?
Albert says, Zach claims Christ, so I pray there was an influence there.
I hope so.
Yes, indeed.
And Zach, as far as I know, Zach Wilde is Catholic. So now I know that steps on a lot of toes. To put a religion between you and Jesus is, I hope somebody's getting to Zach Wilde in that, Zach, you don't come to Christ by religion. He is our priest. There isn't a priest that gets you to Jesus. He is our high priest. Okay, and I hope at some point Zach Wilde comes to that understanding. And I don't know if Ozzy has expressed.
Albert says Alice Cooper is an example of playing the character.
Thank you.
Well said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
Now, even with Alice Cooper, I mean, he's juggling. He's walking a very fine line as that goes.
Is he?
Yeah. I mean, some of the music that he still does, it ain't godly. Not all. It's just because you're a Christian doesn't mean that your music has to be about God.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Just not apart from him.
Yeah.
And sure, there could be some things that are like Alice Cooper. He's got some songs that they're not family friendly, if you will.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't get like way out there, but it's like if some of the stuff I was like, ooh, Alice, really? But like I said, it isn't about necessarily having every song be about God, just not removed from them.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, okay, hey, you kiss your grandmother with that mouth? You know, it's like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But with Ozzy, that wasn't a declaration that was made. And it's sad when you have people out there enabling people and celebrating people to not come to terms with those things. So and the thing is, you know, people can't be like, well, you never know what they said on their deathbed or anything like that. Maybe they had a come to Jesus moment on their deathbed and maybe finally accepted Christ, as they were going out. Y'all, it doesn't work that way. The declaration has to be open. As the word says, you confess me before men, I will confess you before my Father. Right? That's how, and like I said, he would have to make it just as known that he is a servant of Christ as much as he has made it known that I am the prince of darkness. Okay, that has to be known just as well. So, I mean, he went out that way, and y'all, that's the thing. I don't take any pleasure in saying that because, you know, there's people who may be concerned. Well, what about the people that I love? They didn't make that open declaration. So what are you saying? So are they in hell? You know, well, examine the scriptures. I don't want to tell anybody that. And as far as it's strange that like say for instance Ozzy, or what are you saying? So are you saying that Ozzy's in hell? So, like some people would find that offensive. Then why are you offended by that? It seems like it would be more offensive to you if I said that Ozzy went to heaven. Right? It's like y'all don't believe in heaven. You celebrate the prince of darkness and things that have to do with the devil. But if I say that, hey, well, Ozzy probably went to hell, man, that would be offensive. No, he's up there rocking out with all the greats. You know, he's in heaven and they're having a great big jam session. I don't know about that. And that doesn't, I don't take any sort of delight in saying anything like that, or feeling anything like that, but you know, it is what it is. You can't create your own heaven, man. You can't. All right, that doesn't work that way. So, you any more than you can create your own hell. You can't do either. So, if you're going to, anybody who assumes that they can try to make their own heaven, I'm pretty sure it'll become hell pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Any heaven that we would try to make, we'll eventually get sick of it and we'll ruin it. All right, you can't make your own heaven. You will not be able to live up to the idea. You'll burn out on it. Okay, I just leave heaven to the professional. And as far as hell goes, same thing. The Lord made hell reserved for the devil and his angels. There is no hell that you can make for yourself that will live up to what hell actually is. Okay, so all that to say, y'all. You know, I'm grateful for, the talent and the mojo that was given to Ozzy by God. This is, we all talented people, man. It's a gift. It's a gift that comes from God. It just depends on whether you want to use it for him or not. You know, and Ozzy didn't use his talent for God. He used it for his own glory. So once again, I'm grateful for what he brought to the table. I've you can hear some of his influence, with Black Sabbath in my music. And, it's just a trip, man, because these are like the ends of an era. Yeah. I've said often, the 90s, coming up into by the time the turn of the century, right? By the time the 2000s rolled around, not to toot my own horn, but basically Gen X, it was the last generation of the classics, right? Everything after that is a rehash or something like that. But the classics were closed. Classic, it doesn't matter. Classic music, classic movies, classic TV shows, You know, the iconic figures and things like that. Man, that's by the time 2000 rolled around, that's done. You know, classic cars or whichever, it's done. It's like there's no classics anymore.
Yeah.
And Ozzy Osbourne, you know, was a generation of classics. Black Sabbath, that's a generation of classics. And you know, that later, I guess it'd be later, he probably got like middle, more like a middle boomer generation. Ozzy Osbourne with Black Sabbath, you know, kind of, yeah, more early to middle, you know, boomer. And that's the stuff that, you know, we Gen Xers were weaned on. You know, we were weaned on, you know, these things that these boomers created. I give them credit for
Yeah.
that. You know, it came up with some cool stuff. I mean, it's a trip to think that, you know, even bands like Black Sabbath, boomers. Red Hot Chili Peppers, boomers.
That's kind of mind blowing.
That's creepy, ain't it? Jane's Addiction. These are boomer bands that we were raised, that Gen X was like, you know, weaned on, you know?
When you told me Metallica was boomers,
Yeah.
my mind was blown.
Isn't that true? Right? Metallica, Megadeth, they're all boomers. You know, but that's, like I said, that's the music that we Gen Xers were raised on. Our music was, you would think that Gen X music that we made, that our generation made, would be more of like the, who else was I surprised that was like, I was like, for real? Those are boomers, man. I can't remember who it was that I was just looking at, and I can't remember who it was. But you know, our stuff was more, you know, I think Alice in Chains are Gen Xers.
Yeah,
I think
would
they
think
are.
so.
Right? But you know, I mean, some of the bands that came around that kind of came to prominence in the 90s, you know, they've been working it since like
Yeah.
the early 80s and stuff like that. And then we just now hear about them. They might have been, you know, born as early, some of them cats early as 1964 too.
Wow.
Static X. I think Static, I think Wayne Static, who had passed away. I used to really dig Static X. Static X, I think I think his birthday is 1965. I think.
Wow. What about Deftones?
I think they might be Gen Xers.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if I caught like how old, who's the oldest member of their band would be. But yeah, Static X. I think Wayne Static was, he might be like the first of like a first year Gen Xer.
Tom Jensen says, is Weird Al a boomer? I would like to
Yeah.
know that too.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, totally.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
Because I think by the time he did like I'm Fat, or what was it? What was some of his earlier stuff? You know, it's funny. I was just thinking about Weird Al the other day. I had a White Nerdy stuck in my head for a minute. That song is brilliant.
It is.
That's brilliant. Geez, what? Like when he did UHF, what was it? That was like that was definitely early '80s, and I'm pretty sure by then he was 25.
Wait, Jay, are you saying no, he was not a boomer? He said way back with the Dr. Demento show.
So with Dr. Demento.
Wait, so he is a boomer.
Yeah, he's definitely got to be a boomer. So Dr. Demento was. Oh, when did that start? That's late 70s.
We love our boomers here.
And
Tom Jefferson is announcing he is a boomer.
That's right. We cool with y'all.
Another
Mostly.
one rides the bus. Another one rides the bus.
Dr. Demento, one of my favorites. I like to go like sometimes when I play guitar. You know, if I go out you know, busking or you know, or sitting in a restaurant. Sometimes I like to bust out like, you know, songs like you know, Mr. Natural or Junk Food Junkie, actually. Junk Food Junkie. You guys probably remember that stuff from Dr. Demento. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure Weird Al is a boomer.
Yeah.
So at any rate, thank you guys for that satanic music that you raised, that you guys raised Gen X on. What else we got here? Speaking of satanic bands, we got Astronomer, CEO, resigns after getting caught on Coldplay Kiss Cam. Now, you know what I think is more interesting to talk about, or telling, or whichever, isn't so much that they got caught on the kiss cam, but the audiences or the, you know, the culture's response to it, they're totally, even I guess fans, I don't know if they're fans of Coldplay or whichever, but what I saw, it's like, when I saw the article, I was like, you know what, forget the article, man. Let me go and see what the replies are with this.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of is what I tend to do anyway, right?
Yep.
And I was like, that's what's going to be telling, and it was. People are mad at Coldplay. They're not mad at this dude for cheating on his wife.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
Very telling of the culture, ain't it?
Yeah.
They're mad at Coldplay. They maybe saying even things like, well, you know, the cameraman and stuff like that, they know what box that this person is going to be sit in. This person was set up and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, dude, this dude they're both married. Okay? They're both married. You know, I don't know about like what her family situation is, but this dude's got like, you know, he's got his, you know, he's got his kids and whatnot. And it's like, dude, you do this to your wife?
Yeah, and as far as his wife Megan was concerned, she did not know that he was unhappy in the marriage. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's what she's saying. Like this was shocking to her.
Y'all, I'll tell you what. Listen, it ain't no ball. And y'all, you know, I'm not judging. Okay, it's not a judge. I'm not judging the dude. I want to talk about more so the culture. Y'all, really, it isn't all about being unhappy. Okay? It's not about being unhappy. It's about being greedy.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? It's really what it comes down to. As I've confessed to y'all before, man, if it's one thing I really like, I like the attention of women. I had to come to the Lord before to say, Lord, help me out with that. All right? Please, Lord, help me out with that. It dishonors you. It dishonors my wife. Help me out here. You know? But it wasn't because I was unhappy. Not enough. You know, if there was anything I was unhappy, it's just because I wasn't leaning on the Lord first. It wasn't her fault. This whatever thing I needed to satisfy or whatever standards or whatever, you know, it's like none of that should have been an issue. Really shouldn't have. It's just being greedy. You know what I'm saying? That's all it came down to. It's just being freaking greedy. All right? So with this dude, like this, if his wife, I didn't know he wasn't happy, and he didn't have to be. The issue was that he was greedy. And that's the thing about this, you know, these people who are in this culture and stuff like that. You know, you admonish greed. Like greed is so evil. Greed is so bad. We hate the greedy and eat the rich and all that sort of stuff. Y'all the ones who are greedy. You're condoning this person being greedy, and you're admonishing Coldplay because, hey, he got caught, right? So I just think that whether it's the greed comes in the form of, hey, cheating on your spouse, freaking being or being bisexual. It's like what? The opposite sex, just the opposite sex isn't enough for you. You got to have both. You're being greedy. Oh, it's not enough for you to be one gender. You got to be multiple ones. You're being freaking greedy. All right, that's all that stuff is. So this right here, that's what this CEO was straight up being, man. He was just straight up being greedy. This thing that these liberals claim to hate the most, right? So anyway, y'all, I just thought that that's what was really telling, is how the culture is mad because this person, his private business, you know, they should have minded his privacy and all that.
That's just bizarre. Come
on.
on.
That's their standard. What the whole Freedom of Information Act culture, you know, who just wants everything to be transparent and disclosed. You know, but all of a sudden, when their evil is put on display, all of a sudden they care so much about privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Jay says that he's suing Coldplay now, and I did hear that today on a news show I was listening to, that he's suing Coldplay because they mocked him. They were like, oh, these people, you know, they were jokingly saying these people must be, you know, in a secret relationship because they're hiding.
Right.
Either that or they're just
really shy.
So he's suing now. Like, good luck, dude.
Yeah, frankly, I thought that was kind of brilliant. Either they're cheating or they're really shy.
It's funny.
Hey, well, you know what? Good luck to you, man. Sue, because you're going to need to make that money back somehow that your wife is going to get, for all of this. So, yeah, I guess you're going to need another stream of income to pay for that. What do they call that? Alimony or whatever?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it would really suck if this dude actually has a case. They mocked you, they hurt your feelings?
Right.
Or whatever. Sorry. What's your damages? Butt hurt.
Yeah, what is your damages?
my butt hurt. Okay, so what else we got here?
Wait, before we move on, Albert has a very valid point. He says HR women are weird too. Why would you do that to yourself? I am generalizing. I've worked in offices my entire life, and I've known a lot of HR women, and even used to be one before there was a degree required. Yes, HR women are weird. They have to compartmentalize because you're put through so much liberal training to be an HR, a human resources person, that I don't see how you can't have like a personality disorder. I'm serious about that because you have to be put through so much liberal training.
I can see that. Yeah, and you reap what you sow, I suppose.
Yeah.
And just like I was saying about these people, these people are in such contradiction. I'm watching these people. It's like you're really speaking against your own philosophy philosophies as far as this stuff goes. You would think this person is filthy rich.
Yep.
Filthy rich astronomer CEO. How come they're not happy about this? How come y'all aren't happy that a rich guy has fallen? Aren't you guys all about eat the rich?
True.
Aren't y'all all about that? And y'all are coming to his defense for committing a sin. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, these people, they really are cancel culture. They cancel out their own narratives. Yeah. All right. So, what else we got here? Listen to this Delta pilot tell his passengers. So if you guys, there's the link there if you guys want to check it out. I wonder now. My take on this is, well, it's not conclusive because I don't really know all the details. Maybe you guys know. Maybe you guys have heard. Let me know if you have. But my takeaway from this is that, okay, so this is a Delta pilot. And, Delta prides itself on having female pilots. Right? So, but it just so happens that it was a man in the pilot on the flight deck with this one who was able to dodge that B-52. All right. So that's good. But he was talking to aircraft control. And this is, I guess maybe this...
I couldn't find whether it was a woman in the aircraft control. Is that what it's called, tower?
Yeah. Now this, it's not... forgive me, y'all. I forget the terminology on this. If it's like a fixed base of operations where the tower is, I guess, it's limited in its communication somehow, and how it's going to, they're going to get a traffic pattern going. And I think there was an air show going on as it was, and this B-52 was doing its expedition, which is the right one for that. And so, in communicating with the tower, I don't know if he was talking to a female, traffic controller or not. But whoever the traffic controller was telling him to go in a direction contrary to what he was observing. He's like, I don't think I want to go that way. I'm gonna yank this wheel this way, and I'm gonna dodge this plane. So now, I don't know. Maybe if it was a female pilot and she was listening to aircraft control, and if it was a female pilot or a female air traffic control.
Less than 3 Entertainment, aka Aircraft Sparky, told us.
Thank you. All right. Yeah. Okay, we got it. Air traffic controller was a female. Well, she probably would have listened to her. If it was a male aircraft controller, the female says, I don't know. I'm seeing this. It's like, no, I'm gonna go. I am woman. Hear my engines roar. I'm gonna go whichever way I steer right into that plane. Anyway, I said no.
Didn't we have an article a while back where there was an argument And there was a female who was, yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
I vaguely
Either
remember
the pilot or the traffic control. One of them was a female, and they were arguing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And y'all listen. When I say women, I don't mean to speak in generalizations. If you're of the feminist mindset, you want to be a pilot because you got something to prove as a woman and all that sort of stuff. That's the kind of attitude I'm talking about. Obviously, not all women are knuckleheads. I like to think that I got me a Proverbs, woman myself, and so I can dig it. I married up, and the Lord has been very gracious to me. But if there's women of this feminist, mindset, yeah, that's pretty much the kind of woman that I'm talking about. Let's see. What else we got here?
Oh, there's a story that goes in tandem with that one.
Oh?
The Pete Buttigieg story.
Yeah. We getting in on this one right now. Pete Fruity Booty. All right, so Department of Transportation spent $80 million. It does seem more natural to say 80 million, don't it? No, it's 80 billion. 80 billion, y'all, on DEI grants. Okay, I think that's very telling. I mean, and it's just delayed air traffic control upgrades, and according to industry insiders. So look at here, y'all. Here's one of the things that I can't stand about DEI is that this movement or this dynamic is dependent primarily on black folks to define itself. All right, DEI is mostly it's basically perverts. These are the people who want their equity and they want their inclusion. They want to be celebrated and accepted for being perverts. Okay, this is behavioral. If you have this behavioral issue, you should not. You don't have the right to impose your behavior on another person's enterprise. You don't have the right to do that. You don't have the right to represent their company. Okay, and force it to where people that you have to be included. If you're going to be representing their company and they're going to be paying you, they pay you to do this service. You're not supposed to be in there determining how you're going to represent the company on your own terms. This company is this person's property, or this industry, what have you. It should be represented a certain way. If we're going to be paying for it in terms of like taxes, paying for an industry through taxes, or if it's a private enterprise or whichever. There's a decorum, there's a certain demeanor that goes into there. It's not your behavior, that people have to accept. We don't have to accept all behavior. So all that to say, y'all, when you have these people who have leaned on the black plight to gain acceptance. I mean, because, hey, if you can accept black people, and people want to try to act like there's no racism in America. But y'all, that's this whole narrative with these perverts. See, these perverts think of black folks as a perversion of nature. And if you can hire black people, and if you can let black people marry who they want to marry, and if you can allow black people official positions and all that sort of stuff, and then you know what? We should be able to be hired too. You see how that works? I mean, because if you could do that for black people, you should be able to do it for us. That is systemic racism, y'all. That is white privilege. A lot of these people are white. And they want to be perverts who are accepted for being a bunch of freaks. And they use black people to do it. And the sad part of it is you got black people helping them do it. While they want to sit there and act like America is, curse America because America's racist and America's emasculating the black man. What the hell do you think this is? You vote for a party that does that.
Yep.
But see, y'all, the thing is, the Democrats have been engineering it that way for decades. They've gotten into the condition black, it's unfortunate but that's why the Democrats founded what's called the invisible empire. They don't see it. A lot of people don't see it. Even a whole bunch of Republicans don't see it. Right? They don't know. But that's one thing that's very telling. Another thing that's very telling, y'all, is that, okay, hey, you DEI people, you guys are so, you're so inept. All right? It's this weird thing because despite their ineptitude, they're running a lot of stuff. But $80 billion is very telling in how inept these people are. Meaning that it takes you $80 billion to get done what you guys are trying to get done. That should tell you something. Maybe, just maybe, if you would actually focus on doing the job, you wouldn't need this $80 billion. And you wouldn't need it. Your work ethic, your ability, those things would stand out. But you want to stand out for being a pervert. Okay? So, and you guys hate privilege so much. You hate all this privilege, but you had $80 billion allocated towards your interest and delayed things the safety upgrades, or traffic control upgrades.
Yeah, literally the money was for traffic control upgrades and other things that would help flying in America be safer.
Right? Aren't you the safe space people?
Yes.
Well, don't you want a safe airspace?
Right?
I
do.
Y'all are the safe space people. But you want your perversion funded. Y'all, like I said, that sounds like privilege to me.
Yes, indeed.
That sounds like an abuse of privilege. So there you go. Once again, your hypocrisy on display.
Yeah.
Anybody got some words of wisdom on that one?
In the article, actually.
Nah. They need to be on the Zo Loft. They need to be in the Zo Loft, in the Head Right Hangout.
No, I said I was in the article.
Oh, okay. Let's see, what do we got here? Legendary rock star. Man, you got to wonder, who was nuttier, man? Roger Waters or Sid Barrett? I was like, ooh, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. Okay, and man, y'all, I dig Pink Floyd. I seen the Pig and everything, man. I've seen Floyd in concert, and I like jamming on some Floyd songs, particularly from the Dark Side of the Moon album. I used to be able to listen to that song all the way through, because I really dig every song on that album, but sometimes I can't handle Great Gig in the Side, man. It's just too, I can't handle all that screaming. Yeah, she goes on. I think the woman who did that vocal track was Whitney Houston's aunt.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Them and Whitney Houston, Dionne Warwick, they're kind of related,
Yeah.
They're distantly. I don't even know if distantly related, but it was Whitney Houston's aunt, Dionne Warwick's cousin, something like that. I like the stuff that Dionne Warwick did with Burt Bacharach. I know. I'm corny that way. But yeah, Dark Side of the Moon, man. I love that album. It's probably my favorite album by Floyd. And but Roger Walters, I keep wanting to say Roger Walters because I think Waters is too cool of a name. And he's been kind of on this trip for a while, being a Muslim sympathizer and whatnot. And I wonder, I don't think I've ever heard David Gilmour or any other members say anything about this sort of stuff. David Gilmour, he's just put out some new music. It's really, I think it's pretty good. It's weird how some of these, these artists who have been around for so long, they put out new music, and it doesn't really get any radio play, hardly. I think the only ones who've been around, maybe as far back as the 60s or the early 70s, who come out with some new music and it gets some radio play to this day. I think probably Ozzy is about all I know. So he'll put out some new music and he'll get some play, but I think maybe for a minute, like the Rolling Stones, they came out with some new music, but I don't think I ever hear it get some radio play. And finally, I mean, and I've never really been that big of a Rolling Stones fan, but they did, and I can't even remember what the song's called. It's like finally they did a song that I think I really like it. It's what's their new album? I don't even remember what it's called. I guess that's why it's not getting a lot of radio play, because it's forgettable music. But I actually did like one of the latest song that they had put out. But I don't think I ever hear it played on the radio. And I'm trying to think of some other artists that have been around for that long who's put out some music, but I don't think it gets any radio play. All that to say, David Gilmour's put out some new music. I don't think it's heard it play on the radio. So let me read the article. Let's see what
While you're getting to the article, Jay says David Gilmour does his best to stay out of social political issues. He'll end an interview quick over it.
Okay. Thank you for that edification right there. Smart. Yeah. I mean, I get it, man. You got people who are just like, look, man, there's two things that I don't discuss. Religion and politics. And y'all, here's the thing. Anybody who says that to me, who says, man, I never discuss religion and politics, will talk my ear off about religion and politics. Yeah. And they're gonna they want you to know how they feel about it, and don't care what you have to say, and you gotta sit there and like suffer as they talk about that thing that they say they never talk about. Right? But but some people actually mean it. It's like, look, man, I don't talk that stuff. But I get it, but it's not. If you don't talk about it, then you're gonna end up being ruled by it. Unless you got more money than David Gilmour, who doesn't have to really concern himself with it. But for the rest of us plebes,
us plebes.
Okay, let me try to read this without getting off on my jaw jacket. Roger Walters is facing possible prosecution after pledging support for Palestine Action, a group that has been deemed a terrorist organization by the United Kingdom. The former Pink Floyd member called Palestine Action a great organization in a video posted on his X account on July 5th. This says, Roger Waters supports Palestine Action. 5th of July, 2025, Parliament has been corrupted by agents of a genocidal foreign power. Stand up and be counted. It's now. Don't just be a brick in the wall. Anyway, Waters said while reading words written on a piece of cardboard. This is Independence Day, July 5th, 2025. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee continued, I declare my independence from the government of the UK, who just designated Palestine Action a terrorist, proscribed terrorist organization. Waters then reiterated his support for Palestine before further defending Palestine Action as a peaceful group. Waters, you are quite dyslexic. Yeah, and and this funny thing is that these are the kind of people who would call us anti-Semitic.
Yes.
Yeah,
they would.
And okay, so listen, you kind of, like I said, you're kind of dyslexic, and I think you're as kind of out there as Sid Barrett was. They are, he says, or the quote says, they are absolutely not terrorists in any way. They are a non-violent protest. Man, y'all really have a strange idea. This definition of as what is that, The Princess Bride? You keep using that word.
Yeah.
I do not think it means what you think it means, man. They are a non-violent protest organization protesting the presence in the UK of Ebit Systems, who are an Israeli arms manufacturing organization, he said. I support Palestine Action, and I always will, because that is the right thing to do. Woe be to those who don't know good from evil, bitter from sweet, light from dark. It's people like Roger Waters. The United Kingdom banned Palestine action under its anti-terrorism law last week after its members broke into a Royal Air Force base and damaged planes in protest of Britain's support of Israel. But it was a peaceful damaging.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand, even when you're vandalizing, it's peaceful vandalizing, or when you're defacing or destroying property and stuff like that.
Yeah, military property, it's fine.
Yeah, come on now, it's peaceful. So, like I said, their definitions on these things are rather twisted. So, following the protest, Parliament voted and proscribed the group as a terrorist organization, Fox reported. The governing body also determined that actions such as inviting support, expressing approval, or displaying symbols of the group could bring a sentence of up to 14 years in prison and or a fine. Roger Waters has a long history of promoting dangerous conspiratorial tropes. A spokesperson for the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism told Fox, his declaration of support of Palestine action, now a banned organization, is his most legally provocative move yet. We expect the police to take action, and if they do not, then we will. Waters, who has been a longtime supporter of Palestine and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, was a co-founding member of Pink Floyd. He served as the band's lyricist, co-lead vocalist, and conceptual leader. How come it doesn't say bassist? I think that's kind of important, that he was the bass player, and conceptual leader until his departure in 1985. All right, what do you guys think, man? It's I remember, this is decades ago. Roger's been, on this tip as far back as I can remember.
Really?
Yeah, he's been on this for a while, and it's unfortunate. But he's fallen prey to the Islamic narrative. Remember, y'all, Islam it's the as far as even the origin story, the origin narrative, or the creation of man, is about victimhood. Roger Waters is subscribed to a satanic ideology. He's all about where Islam is coming from, and Islam succeeds because, y'all, the empowered victim, that's a power. It's a negative power, but it's a powerful machine. All right, it's powerful like a black hole. Okay, a black hole is like, in the universe, a black hole is like the epitome of weakness. You know what I'm saying? Star that has collapsed. It's became unstable. It's weak. It was too weak to sustain its own gravity. It collapsed. Just like this negative power. All right, its weakness. Its power is in the negative. All right, and it draws things into it. Just
so
the way
it sucks.
It sucks. Show up.
Jensen.
Right? Thank you. I appreciate your summation. But with all that to say, y'all, the negative power of being a victim. See, when Adam was created, that's where the narrative really started, because God, or Allah, as far as they're concerned, not God as we know God, not the same God, okay, told Iblis to prostrate before Adam, and Iblis was like, no, I shouldn't have to do that. I'm superior. I'm made of fire. He's made of clay. I'm superior. So a lot of people can relate to that. And that's where the victim narrative starts. And you can relate to being a victim. Okay? And Islam is mobilized by that. They're the victims. They make it look like they're the ones who are doing right, and they're the ones who have done wrong. Y'all remember, we're talking about Palestine here. Please keep in mind, Palestine it comes from the word Palash. Palash is Philistines. All right, it's the same name. And Philistines, Palash, Palestinians, Y'all, it literally, it means to wallow in misery. It means to be a victim. It means butthurt. All right, they're living up to their namesake. You understand? That's what it means to wallow in misery. That black hole of misery where waters is sucked into it. You see what I'm saying? So in this, y'all, I'm telling you, that sucking black hole, that it pulls a lot of people into it.
Yeah.
That event horizon has got a whole bunch of people into being pro-Palestinian, because they're in that. They're in it, y'all. They're consumed by the gravity of this weak mindset, this victim mindset. That's at the root. I shouldn't say root, but is the basis, if you will, of Islam.
Yeah.
What was somebody saying?
Jay Thompson put in the chat, taqiyya, just look it up. Yeah, that's the Islamic practice of concealing, and they'll go deep undercover to lie to whomever it is they're dealing with. They'll even pretend to be a Christian. I mean, and they're allowed to do this per their religion. Yes.
Now, see, and this is a very important distinction. Thank you for raising that. It's a very distinction that needs to be made when we're talking about the strategy of taqiyya. Because one would say, well, isn't taqiyya in the Bible? Right? Because here's the thing. When you look at the Ten Commandments, a lot of people, they misunderstand this because they think that lying is a sin. Lying isn't a sin. Okay? Slander is. So if you look at the Ten Commandments, the commandment, like we've grown up seeing the condensed form of the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not lie and things like that. That's not the commandment. The commandment is to not slander. It's a big difference. Okay? Now, when God's word talks about lying, like say for instance, the Hebrew women, when Pharaoh told the Hebrew women to kill the sons that were told the midwives to kill the sons, they didn't do it, and they lied when they were asked about it. Okay, that obviously is not a sin, and God rewarded them for that, didn't he? Yes, he did. Okay, now here's the thing. Those kind of lies are not to undermine and do evil or do destruction for somebody for malicious reasons or for whatever you think you want to justify as doing a good cause. That's a whole different kind of thing. Like say, for instance, hiding Jews from the Nazis. No, there's no Jews here. Okay, that's not lying to destroy somebody. That's lying to protect somebody who hasn't done wrong. Okay, of course, there's lying to harbor a suspect. Okay, there's that kind of thing. All right, that's lying to uphold evil. That's wrong. You see what I'm saying? So there's a difference. In taqiyya, we're talking about lying to undermine or to promote destruction for malicious reasons. They don't think it's malicious, right? But they have an obscure understanding of what evil, and their ideas are switched around as far as that goes. But anyway, I just wanted to point out that distinction, and thank you for raising that up. But like I said, when we talk about the Ten Commandments where it says thou shalt not lie, it's not talking about lying per se. It's talking about slander or being, and for us, when the scriptures also say that the Lord hates a deceptive tongue. Okay, a person who deceives for the purpose of destruction, for like personal gain or anything like that, you're gonna set somebody up for destruction or lie destructively for your own personal gain. That kind of deceptive tongue the Lord hates. Okay, and that of course would include slander. Let's see. So at any rate, yeah, Roger, man, I pray you receive the Lord's peace and truth, man, because
you don't want to go to prison.
Yeah, and you don't want to go to hell, man.
That's worse.
Get straight with the Lord, man.
Yes.
You're following people that are you're following. You're on a satanic path here, man.
Yeah, very much so.
All right, what else we got here? Let's see. Barack Obama. Speaking of Satan. Barack Obama suggests men need gay friends to learn empathy and kindness. So, hey, really quick, and I guess this kind of goes along with the next article. So, hey, Barack, if we need gay friends to learn empathy and kindness, then how do you explain gay men or who had a woman deliver a baby and then wanted it killed?
Yeah.
Is that your idea of empathy? But according to liberals, that's a mercy killing. That's real empathy. Do you know how compassionate you have to be able to do something like that? We'll talk about that. But Barack Obama says, and here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Hey, Barry, lots of us, coming up, I think pretty much most of anybody listening to this show right now, people listening to Barack Obama, listening to this show, us, can say that we've had a gay friend. Yep. Or maybe even still have a gay friend. Have a gay friend. My favorite uncle was gay. Fortunately, he died of AIDS. But my favorite uncle was gay. I didn't agree with the lifestyle, and I'm pretty sure he knew that. I was, younger, but it's like, look, man, I don't think I have to tell you, man, I don't agree with that stuff. Hey, but you're still my favorite uncle, though. Yeah. Right? And whether it's a member, a family member, or a friend, or a work, we've known him. All right? So Barack, if that's the case and gay people make the world such a better place, well, then the world would be a better place by now, wouldn't it? All right, because most of us, it's like Eddie Murphy back in the day. It's like, hey, you can have gay friends. You can go play tennis with a gay person. Just after the game, it's like, I'm going to go get a beer. What you going to go do? And I think you guys know the rest from there. He's like, well, you go ahead and you do that. Right? So this has been a dynamic for a long time, Barry. And if having a gay friend did all this sort of stuff, then you would need to be talking about this. The world would be in such a much better place now, wouldn't it? Yeah. All right, so you late, Barry. You're very late. And you know what? It's that real, dang, man, that's your prescription for a better world, dude. Not, hey, you know what folks should do to learn empathy, kindness? Try the Bible. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a better candidate for this world problem that we have is from Barack Obama. His words of wisdom is that you need a gay friend. Yeah. Okay. But I guess, as far as Barack is concerned, what the Bible has to say about homosexuality, I guess that would kind of contradict his philosophy on these sort of things. So I understand why he wouldn't recommend to read the Bible, to actually have a foundation on what it is to be a decent society. If you examine the commandments, basically right there is what you need to know to have empathy. Hey, Barack, let me break it down for you, man. I am the Lord, your God, who brought you out of Egypt, the house of slavery. Well, see, what that tells us, Barry, is we have to be able to, there has to be a foundation of how we understand love and empathy and kindness. Okay, if we try to do that stuff on our own, man, we're going to hurt people. Our love hurts people. What we think is kind, like say for instance, Democrats, they always talk about fairness and stuff like that. Well, their idea of being fair is by being unfair to other people. Okay? They hurt people. They're oppressive. Well, God brought us out of oppression. It's against the law to be oppressive. All right? It's against the law to enslave people. For those who think that the Bible condones slavery, well, right at the top of it, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, the house of slavery. I'm letting you know right now, slavery is illegal. Okay? So, forced slavery. You can't force people into slavery. So, that has to start right there. You have to have a foundation, man. You have to be rooted in the truth in order to understand what empathy and kindness really is. And you can't be making idols for yourself. Yeah. You can't, like this is what I'm going to be beholden to. I'm going to bow down and I'll worship this. You know, this is what I'll be like Obama going around and bowing down to these other people.
Right,
and
I
whatever.
forgot about that. Yikes.
You know, he's like, man, you don't want to do that. So you got to set a precedence of what it is to be rooted in something that's fixed and eternal, to really know what it is to have this integrity, to be empathetic and to be kind. All right. Long story short, if you understand these things, then you understand what it is to not steal from people. Mm-hmm. But see, your mindset of policy is about stealing from people. Hey, spread the wealth. Well, in order to do that, you got to steal from people, Barry. I don't care how well-meaning your intentions are. You're jacking people for the fruits of their labor under the guise of good intentions. Yeah, that's violating people's rights to property. Their incomes, the fruits of their labor, that's their property, Barry. In contradiction to the Ten Commandments and in contradiction to the Constitution, you feel it's okay to take what people have earned and redistribute and ration it to other people.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't talk to me about empathy and kindness when you're already violating the right to people's property and you're condoning stealing. You condone murder. All right, so if you're okay that a woman can go ahead and cancel out the life of a child, you know what I'm saying? Your policies are based on covetousness. The word says to not covet.
Yeah.
It's not empathetic and kind and loving to be like, I think we should make people have to part, with their property so I can be satisfied. That's covetousness, man. So all these things, there's no kindness in that. At the end of the day, it's not a kind thing to do. It's not right. So all this stuff, your worldview is in contradiction of what it really takes to be a kind society. Your worldview, the policies that you've implemented and stuff like that totally goes against that. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's border policy, just people coming in and being able to take advantage of what people are trying to do, getting in the way of people being able to get work and taking it and increasing the tax load on people that to facilitate them. It's what you do. It stifles people's ability to be kind to each other.
Absolutely, it does.
It stifles empathy. It gets in the way of it. If you left us to it, if y'all would stop getting in the way of us, just want to be able to follow what the scriptures say, and stop impeding our ability to do it with these policies that you think that people won't do unless you make it the law. You cancel out charity. You cancel out our ability to be free to give. You cancel that stuff out. And then from there, we're trying to, after you tax us and put fees on us and whatever, and increase our tax load to satisfy basically another voter block that you guys are trying to grow, it makes it harder for us to make ends meet. And when you're there, man, it kind of makes it a little difficult for us to be able to be kind to our neighbor, and be more giving and charitable and help people out of their situation, give them a hand up, because we're trying to put out our own fires.
Yeah.
With this arson-like policy that you guys put out there, just setting fire to stuff all the time.
Yes.
Burning up our money. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all do. So no, Barry, we don't need a gay friend. Okay, if you really want to be friends to a gay person, tell them the truth.
Amen.
What you guys don't want us to do. And if you really think that you're so friendly to gay people, Barry, then won't you, if you want to be a real friend to them, you need to tell them the truth, man, because a lot of these people be committing suicide. From your homosexuals to your transsexuals. They're trying to find their own truth. And their own truth leaves them empty. Yeah. And they end up offing themselves. All right, but you don't want us to tell them the truth. You don't want us to tell them about life. Right? You don't want us to tell about them because you want them to die. It's you Democrats who think that the world is overpopulated anyway. Right? So don't be trying to make it like it's us. We talk life, man. We talk life. Y'all the ones who talk death. So you encourage these people to seek their own truth, which only just leads to emptiness. And they settle for death because they don't really feel like they're living. They thought that they would, you know, by trying to find this own truth or whichever, the truth of another gender or the truth of, you know, feeding their desires and stuff like that. And where the desires they're perverted, and they're going to find some happiness or completion in their life for that, and they don't. Right? So, he ain't your friend,
Yeah.
gay people.
I don't know, the weird part of this article is that, okay, he says that men need gay friends to learn empathy and kindness while preparing for potentially fathering a son who identifies as gay or non-binary. No matter how good the dad is, he can't be everything, and then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Listen, hey.
This guy is just twisted. I know he's twisted.
He's
but
twisted.
Goodness.
Right? Hey, you know, so Barry, if this kid, and you know the thing is, a dad can't teach you everything. No dad can teach everything. But somehow you think that what we need to bring that full circle to get them to learn is a gay man. So a gay man is going to do what the father can't do. Okay, I don't see how that makes sense, man. What is this qualifying factor that I mean, because hey, and here's the thing: a gay man didn't get here without a father in the first place.
Yeah.
All right, it took that, you know. So to learn empathy, man, you think that to learn empathy you have to seek the counsel of a pervert? To learn kindness, you have to have the counsel of a pervert to do that. You know, hey, and I say that in love, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm telling you, yeah, your appetites are perverted, and I'm just telling you the truth, because I say it in love. Barack Obama hates you, all right? If you're assuming that you're gonna love somebody straight to hell, they hate you.
Yeah.
You know? So all that to say, then we get into gay men order a surrogate to let baby die after she delivered early due to cancer diagnosis. All right. So let me read a little bit of this article. A homosexual couple boldly nominated themselves for the most hideously evil monsters of the year, awarding the editorial here, award by demanding that a surrogate mother diagnosed with cancer let her prematurely born baby die. Fierce pro-life advocate Lila Rose, she's another one of those, I guess, conservatives. I guess who kind of like, you know, kicked me to the curb because she wanted to, she contacted me because when I was with PJTV, she wanted to interview the CEO who had, you know, a gay son, and she wanted to talk to him about it, but all of a sudden she wanted to talk to me so she can get to talk to the CEO.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
Right? And I told her, listen, I don't know if he's going to have that dialogue with you because right now they're even telling me that we want you to stay away from, because of his sentiments. And there was other people there who had, you know, gay relatives and all that sort of stuff. So they wanted me to stay off that topic. And I was basically telling her, they're probably not going to talk to you. So but just bear with, you know, but I think it was like, you know, just bear with me. I have to finesse this and how it's going to do it. But all that to say, it's like, you're contacting me, not because of any work that you're interested in what I'm doing and my fight in this, because as a pro-life advocate, it's like you don't care about what it is that I'm doing or ally with me. You want to talk to this person, and that's the only reason why you're talking to me.
Yeah.
Right? Long story short, you know, even after I was told you're not going to talk about this stuff anymore, the financer of PJTV came in and was like, you talk about whatever you want. Right? So, and from there I kept on saying, it's like, you should have just hung in there with me.
She should have.
You know,
she had to be tacky.
Yeah, because I went on ahead to go ahead and talking about it. I was just like, just hang in there. You know, we'll see what we can make happen. But after that, Lila Rose just pretended like she doesn't know who I am anymore.
Yeah, she ghosted you.
Yeah, right? So, at any rate, kind of lets you know where she is with that. But Godspeed to her with her pro-life fight. Because I've reached out to her too. You know, say, hey, let's get in this fight.
Yeah.
She don't want to have nothing to do with me. You know,
Very
because I
strange.
guess, you know, she couldn't use me to get her spot on PJTV. And because of that, you know, she don't want to talk to me no more. So now this right here, I think you guys get the gist of what's going on here, and needless to say, it's very evil. It's very telling of what kind of couple we have here. Mostly, and y'all, come on, man. We came from one of we moved, you know, out of California, and have lived in California in like one of the gay capitals of the world. You know, we lived in the Coachella Valley. We lived in the Palm Springs area.
It's the second gay capital of America.
Yeah, you know, Palm Springs, Cathedral City. You know, big. It's a mecca. You know, for homosexuals. And y'all, look, when they be having these kids, you think they have these kids because they want to raise them as, you know, contributing members to society. Them kids is sex toys. All right. So here's the thing. This right here is very telling. It's very telling, y'all. Y'all, I get it where it can be a very hard thing for people. Y'all, this is earth, man. This ain't heaven. Sometimes these conditions are going to happen. It isn't so much, don't think of it so much as a curse. Like, say, for instance, if your child is born with autism, or if your child is diagnosed with leukemia or something like that, y'all. It isn't about this being a curse to you. It's about you being a blessing to them. Those kids was going to need somebody. It's going to need somebody, man. I know that's a lot easier said than done. It's a heavy responsibility to take on, but that's what it's about being a parent. You're the protector. You're the primary protector. You are the provider for that kid. You know? So you're the one who's been sent by the Lord to give this child what they need for how long they're going to be here. You're that kid's blessing to get them through the autism, through the leukemia, or these things that could be a childhood infirmity, right? But see, these people right here, you think they really wanted to be parents? Right? They didn't want to be parents. We want a child that we can groom. We want you to live long enough for us to groom and, you know, do what we gonna do. See, they didn't have the protective parent mindset. They weren't ready to step in and be like, to do what they could to make sure that this, to see if they can, you know, be in there. Let's see if we can give this kid a chance. Give him a chance at life. It's not what they were there for. They're perverts. You know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think? I think it's very telling.
I want to read just a little bit of what happened here. So this is her aunt, this girl who was a surrogate. This is her aunt. She says, so far I've learned my niece knows they can't force her to abort, but once baby is out, then baby is property, EW, I can't even stomach typing that, of DNA parents, and they don't want to give baby any life-saving care. Basically, my niece says she has to get baby out and watch it die. These parents, in quotes, are freaking despicable. And then Lila Rose tweeted, when Brittany refused to kill the baby, they threatened legal action. When she offered to adopt the child, they demanded a death certificate. Brittany has described her experience as a surrogate as feeling like a rented out uterus. That's what you are. I'm sorry, but that's what you are. We come from an area where all the 20-year-olds are surrogates. Like, it's the most common thing there because our Craigslist is filled with the gay couples paying $30,000 to these, you know, young women. That's all you are.
Why? Aren't there birthing persons? Why do y'all have to go to women to rent their womb? Why do you have to do that? And y'all, therein, it's like when people are thinking that the gays have woken up because they're separating themselves from the trans folk, right? Because they have at least a moral compass. That's not what it is, man. That's not what that is. The reason why the homosexuals separate themselves from the transsexuals is because homosexuals will tell you, I was born this way and there is nothing I can do to change it. Whereas the transsexual, even though they were born a certain way, they insist that you can change it. That's where the conflict is, and that's where the split is. That's why that happened. All right, so, and here's the other thing, y'all. We're talking about this movement, as I said before, is all about not being discriminate, right? You can't discriminate, you can't discriminate. We're anti-discrimination. That's what this is all about. You're proving that you have to have a woman in order for the life to come through. It's the woman who's going to facilitate that gestation and give birth to that child. You can't get a man to do that. All right? So you're proving that right there. You ain't going to get a man to have a baby for you, right? But see, this is where the discrimination comes in. You know, okay, let's say y'all just want to be fathers, right? You don't really want to be fathers. You just want to raise a sex toy. But you want to be fathers, right? And you're going to discriminate. Y'all know where I'm going with this. You're going to discriminate against a woman who is designed to give birth and nurture a child. Her design is that. That's her distinction. She is the distinguished aspect of humanity that can do that. But you discriminate against her and would rather put your thing where a man poops from. That's you want to talk about discrimination. Women, how can you not feel so belittled by that? Women, come on now. How can you not feel so flippin' insulted by that? That these men would rather be sexually satisfied by where another man poops from than the canal that you have, that life comes through. You're not insulted by that? That's pretty sad. And you're the reason why men are coming in and able to go ahead, like what's her name? Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, yeah.
You got nuts like that. Man, you want to talk about empathy and kindness. Jamie Lee Curtis got a trans kid and a daughter. I haven't
pretty
from what I
daughter.
saw of her daughter. From what I've seen, it's like her daughter's pretty.
Yeah.
And Jamie Lee Curtis gonna say, I can't. What does she say? I can't tell them apart, or
You can't tell which one of my daughters is trans.
you can't tell. Really? Talk about slapping your daughter in the face.
Yeah.
It's like, you mean to tell me that my brother looks just as feminine as I do? Really? Well, thank you, Mom. Unless her daughter's nuts too. I mean, like, that's so true. I mean, we were just destined to be sisters. You know, I don't know if she's nuts like that. Maybe she is. Right? But wow, I think there's a lack of empathy there. That's very insulting. But you got this culture. And y'all, the thing is, man, this stuff comes in tides. This ain't nothing new. This has been going on for thousands of years. All right? Paul was dealing with this kind of stuff in his day.
Yeah, he was. Cranky says, well, I mean, not insulted. Some of these guys are not what I would want to be around anyway. But yeah, we are in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. Yes, we are. I agree.
Yes, indeed. We're revisiting those days. And as I've said before, y'all, we're in a generation where we really should know better. That's why I think that these are the last days. It's wrapping up because God's like, yeah, I think you guys have had enough time. You're supposed to be really smart and so informed, and you have all this information at your disposal at this time, and y'all is just as ignorant as ever. You refuse to figure it out. It's not that maybe you can't. I don't know. You just, that's me saying I don't know. God knows. But the bottom line is, I think we can agree, it's like, man, there's no excuse for me doing this nutso stuff. How you gonna do this? There's no justification for it. You're out of excuses. All right. So yeah, but Jamie Lee Curtis. Wow, man, that's a twisted up woman for real.
She's going to be opening up her purse and funding PBS and NPR.
Oh,
She's going to have to. She said we won't shut up.
yeah. Well, you know, and I believe it. I believe they will not shut up. And that should tell y'all something, man. I remember like one of my favorite radio stations back in the day was KCRW. That was I think 89.3, you know, back coming out of Santa Monica, right? And man, that was my jam back in the day. And of course, you know, at the time, I guess I didn't find myself suffering like when NPR would come on, or you know, and they do their so-called editorials and their news and whichever, intermittently. But see, they bait you with the good music, and they had really good music, man, really good music. You know, and you know, then they would throw in the NPR stuff, you know, in between it. But they would do the pledge drives and whichever, and trying to make people feel guilty that, you know, say you're listening to this music, you know, you should pay for it. It's like, man, you guys are getting money like this. You're already getting what's that endowment national? You're already getting funds from that. You know, y'all are greedy. You know, you want to get more pledge drives. Man, if you guys are as awesome as you think you are, you know, come on, Jamie. If y'all are as awesome as you think you are, then let the free market go ahead and fund it. But see, y'all, but the thing is, you know that a lot of y'all audience is people out there who think they're entitled to stuff. You know that. They don't want to pay for nothing. I mean, I don't know, maybe they do. They want to get out there and they want to get their Starbucks drinks and sit down and listen to music on their iPhones and all that sort of stuff. They like the commercialism.
Yeah.
You know, they like the frequency. And by the way, y'all, that's not capitalism. Please don't conflate the two. That's one of the reasons why a lot of Republicans are supposed to be champions of capitalism. That's why they can't sell it, because they think capitalism is all about materialism, right? It's no wonder these people think that we're the bourgeoisie, and it's not what capitalism is. It's free enterprise, or free to be enterprising, I should say. Commercialism, those things, yes. Capitalism, no. All capitalism is that basically you tax outcome, not income. That's really all capitalism is. You have the right to the government can't come in and tax your property. No capital gains, no property taxes, no income taxes. The government is funded by taxes, yes, but not those kind. But not that. You can't violate a person's right to property to pay taxes. All right, you got your imposts, you got your excise, you got your duty taxes. Yes, those are legal. Income taxes are not. And we haven't had capitalism in, I don't know, over 100 years. All right, people talk about capitalism hurts us, and capitalism. We haven't had y'all haven't even known capitalism to hurt you. You haven't even known it. This system, this quasi-socialist system that we have is what's hurting you. All right, so PBS really should love capitalism, because capitalism is where people, it's like, look, I've earned my money, and the government has not been allowed to take any of it, which means I have retained more of my gross pay. And heck, I got a little bit of money left over. I want to keep NPR on the radio, or PBS online. Right. I want to keep them going. So I will freely donate my money. Freely. Not have it taken from me to fund these things, but freely give it. Now, if they really trusted in their content, and if they really think it's so amazing, but remember, a lot of their audience are a bunch of collectivists. So they think that, well, they're okay. I guess. Well, no, what they're really okay with is what they want to make sure that the rich people are paying more of their fair share to keep this kind of stuff on, and they only pay a little bit, and they get their refund or whichever. They get some of their money back at the end of the year or whatever. I guess that's an acceptable price to pay to make sure that the rich are paying their fair share.
Oh, right.
And we have this collectivist model that funds the stuff that they're into, because as much as they love it, I guess they don't value it enough to pay for it. You know, the full sum of the fair market value with their own money You know, they don't want to do that. You know, so anyway, yeah, we got, you know, people like Jamie Lee Curtis out there saying that she's going to keep this stuff going. And, but hey, maybe Stephen Colbert can get some of that funding too.
Right.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah. And that is that what you need, Stephen? And I guess Jon Stewart's mad. You know, he came out with like this, just the F, and F. It had to put some gospel singers behind him.
Oh, jeez, no.
So they can, you know,
No.
you know, do a hymnal of the F word, you know, because he has so much respect for, you know, the choir, and you know, these more Christ-centered themes. So he brings that in, you know, to chant the F word in some sort of hymnal style or gospel style singing. So yeah, it's lots of class there, and I hope a lot of his audience were cringed out by that.
Yeah.
Because it's some serious. If you guys want to check out the video of Jon Stewart and his little, you know, stunt, his F you and F this stunt, check it out. It's a cringe fest.
Yikes.
So.
Well, the good news is that the Republicans defunded NPR and PBS. As far as I know, this has been a dream of ours for years and years. So I don't know. I still have doubts and don't trust it, but that's what the news says. So.
But you know, the thing is, and good if we're heading that direction.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, that's great. But here's the thing, y'all. It's really sad that on the right end of the spectrum, that they can't provide content, entertainment. You know, they obviously the conservative media, they're not going to support what I'm doing. So much so that this is the fight that we've had to have for so long. It's like if you really wanted to defund these people, then what should have happened is being able to produce the kind of content that takes the interest away from them, right? And say, hey, you know what? Why am I interested in this stuff when these people are doing so? They're speaking the truth, and they're speaking it in a way that really interests me. Well, actually, a lot of these people are perverts, but you have to be able to show them. It's like, dude, being a pervert ain't that interesting. All right, and show them something different. Y'all know I've been trying to do that for years. You know, I'm trying to get the Zo Loft done. I'm trying to get the Zopium done. I can't grow my audience, and conservative ink, they're not going to help. Well, one of the reasons why is because they like the spotlight for themselves, and they really don't want entertainment to flourish. Because if entertainment flourished and people were able to get their messages that way and get the light turned on, then there wouldn't be much for them. See, the thing is, like, you know, we talk about how, you know, these left-wing editorial outlets, whether it's MSNBC or CNN and all that sort of stuff, yeah, hardly anybody's listening to them, but they do still go to them for validation, right? Because they're you know, these people, the news and entertainment media on the left, y'all, they're partnered. They're a machine, all right? These people get their worldviews and stuff like that from the entertainment that they watch. So these people are bought and paid, they're sellouts and all that sort of stuff that undermine what America was really about. But this entertaining, okay? And then from there, they may go to their news outlets to get validation, to hear their editorials and stuff like that, to kind of, you know, condense it and all that sort of stuff. But y'all, it's part of the same machine. You know, these people don't have, people talk about their ratings and how they're going. Y'all, they've been saying that for decades. You know, oh, their ratings are so low and they're going out of business sooner. They're still here. All right, they're still here because they're a machine. They're tied in together. All right, we're on the conservative side. The talking heads, the news outlets, the pundits, they want all the attention. They don't want something, y'all, please understand, they don't want something more interesting than them. They don't want, you know, a big, you know, how long have like conservatives been saying, oh, we need something like a right-leaning Saturday Night Live or something like that. They've been saying that for years. It ain't gonna happen, right? The talking heads, they don't want that to happen because they don't want something that seems more interesting than them. They don't want anything to tax their audience. They want to be the oracles. They want to be that. And in their pride, they'll watch this country go under before they give up the spotlight to make it where other productions that are more effectively given, waking people up, is illustrating these values in a way more effectively than they can. Whether it's by music, whether it's by comedy, sci-fi, whatever genre or multimedia that there might be, they really don't want it, y'all. They really don't.
What you're saying now is kind of inside baseball stuff, things that most people wouldn't know, but it is true that most of these personalities, these big conservative ink personalities, are as you are describing.
Yeah, it's sad.
You're not just guessing, you have lots of evidence and receipts that they are like that, and it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, and if they were going to do it, they only want to do it themselves. That and sad part is that hasn't really been very successful, has it?
No, because we'll only get a documentary like every few years out of these people, or a book.
Yeah.
Come on, we need to get together and make some real good entertainment to compete with the liberal ideas.
That's right. You might get a movie here and there. They don't really go anywhere because it's really so much wrapped up in themselves than the bigger picture. It's definitely not about the kingdom. It's not about the country.
It's never about the kingdom.
Yeah, it's really not about the kingdom. It's more about themselves, right? Even when it is about the kingdom, it's like, man, where did you get that from? That's not really squaring up with Scripture. It's so like I said, a lot of it is concerning themselves. So I hope, y'all, I lean on the Lord and say, Lord, I hope that my ideas and what I want to do are conformed to you, and I'm waiting on your timing for when you'll allow me to be able to have the funding to be able to pull it off and to be able to do it. Prayers appreciated that I will be able to, because the reason why I'm saying all this, y'all, is because it's so sad that that's what we got to do. As I said, man, this is the mainstream Republican strategy. They don't really have a strategy to really attract people. They have to wait until Democrats make things so freaking bad.
Yes.
Other than that, can they really promote their ideas worth anything? Hell no. No, they can't. They have to wait until Democrats make things so bad. And we don't have to do that, y'all. You mean to tell me that we can't provide things that are just as interesting to where people like, why am I buying this crap? This is where the real part. I don't know, man. A light's gone on. I'm seeing something, man. What I was thinking was wrong. I'm embarrassed. That I used to think that sort of stuff. Well, I think I just saw something. What was it? I don't know if I quite read something to the effect of, these people should be embarrassed. We need to shame these people into. I don't remember what it was. It took me too long to try to figure it out. But you know what I'm saying, y'all? It's like, how can we don't, there's not enough support to do the things. And even when people do something creative, and they do, it's like, man, a liberal could have done that. You guys have the same approach as, I've seen a lot, with the so-called conservatives, in Hollywood. It's like, man, they just like liberals. The things that they promote is profane. These people, they're basically the only thing that they don't like is taxes.
Yeah.
But they believe a lot of the same stuff the liberals do, and they wonder why their ideas don't get off the ground. It's like, man, a liberal could have made that content. Y'all the same. So if people thinking that they used to talk about, there's a big conservative movement in Hollywood. No, there wasn't. I was there. I saw it. It wasn't. It was just a big speakeasy. If any, that's all it was. But were they really ready to get into the fight? Hell no.
Nope.
Only a couple of them. I think a couple of them pulled it off. And even there, it's like, are y'all as conservative as you think you are? Not really. They want to vote people. They want people to vote conservative, but actually live it? Not really. There's a difference. Y'all, there's a difference between actually being conservative and being politically conservative. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Got a lot of people out there want to be politically conservative, but actually live it? No.
Right.
No. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, for all those people with this big Hollywood conservative movement, was there a lot of movement? Heck, no. And they're not really about so much supporting each other. You know, they just want to do what they can to be able to get involved with some liberal productions. They ain't giving up their SAG cars. They ain't giving up their unions. They're not giving up being part of that revenue collecting arm for the Democrat Party. They ain't giving that up, right? They just much as part of funding the Democrat Party as anything else. You know, so all that to say, y'all, it's a shame that that's what it takes, because we ain't doing the things, and there's not enough support to you know, the right-leaning entertainers, y'all, you see it, man. The right-leaning entertainers that these people fawn over, they heathens.
Right, like James Woods. Jay Thompson says, James Woods, does he walk the walk?
No, man. And y'all, I've met James Woods. I've been in the same. I've been to dinner with the guy. James Woods that's a dude that's like seriously full of himself.
Yeah,
right?
I've met him too. I gather that
he's,
too. Unless if he's changed.
Maybe he has, but that dude is totally full of himself. Dude, pretty much, if he even looked in my way, even while sitting down, he looked down at me through his nose. You know what I'm saying? He was totally wasn't interested. It's like you know what I'm saying? I've met a lot of people like that. You know, a lot of these cats, man, these people, they're conservatives, and they said, no, they're not. You know, Clint Eastwood, he's big because Clint Eastwood, one of the biggest liberals there is.
Yes.
What, just because he didn't like Barack Obama?
Yep.
You know? What? He's not a conservative. But I mean, I've been with these, you know, with these conventions with these people, man, or whichever. The conservative position in entertainment in Hollywood, it's weak. It's not really there. But these are the people that they think are conservative, and they wonder why it takes off. Because the party of standards and values has very low standards and values. Right? Low standards.
Yep.
That's why it doesn't take off. And that's why conservative entertainment, you don't ever really see it. You might see moments of it here and there and stuff like that. I mean, Tim Allen, and he's no conservative.
No, he's not.
You know, but he didn't like Obama. That's all he needed. You know, and other than that, can you really point to a whole bunch of? As a matter of fact, we got Mel Gibson and Elon Musk is rumored they're going to start a conservative entertainment company promoting family values. Elon Musk promoting family values.
Okay.
This is what okay, why? Because he's got a lot of money. That makes him a conservative? What?
Because he thinks it's good to have kids.
Okay.
Well,
Elon, it takes a little bit more than that.
Rumored up to 30 different women now.
Yeah. So, but that's our standards and values, y'all. You know? So, but look, man, I'd like to take a shot at it. I've kept it real for y'all for since I stepped onto the scene in 2007. I don't think anybody's seen me waver from my position on conservatism, and then realizing that, look, man, I'd be a fool to try to establish what conservatism on my own thoughts. I need to get down to the real deal. Brought the word of God into it, and I've stayed that course. You know, and so I don't think anybody could say that. Well, Zo does this for the money. Really?
No.
I don't think anybody. I think I've kept it real all these years, y'all. I'm still doing this. Right? Still doing this. And am I making long money for doing it? No. I've gone broke doing it, actually. And I don't think anybody's. Zo, can Zo be bought? No. And not like anybody's like throwing a whole bunch of money my way anyway to see if I can be bought.
Right.
But I've already been there. You know, and I'm gonna try to keep it squared up with the scripture and stay balanced on that. You know, as long as I can trust the Lord, and He's worth eternal fidelity. So anyway, hopefully, I don't know, maybe get a chance to be able to, produce these things I've been trying to produce for y'all. And we can compete with this stuff and not have to wait until Democrats make things so bad. Maybe we can start taking attention away from these people. Be like, hey man, this is the kind of stuff that we need to be buying, right?
Right. Neil McDonough, he says, Zoe, have you ever met him? He's apparently devoted to his Catholic faith. Did I just answer my own question? Is that, I think if it's the right actor that I'm speaking of, he wasn't really out of the conservative closet back in the day when there was, our group in Hollywood, our secret little speakeasy, as you call it. I never saw him there. I think he just more recently, in more recent years, came out of the closet.
Did you say Norm Macdonald?
No, Neil McDonough.
Neil McDonald. I don't think I know who that is.
Norm Macdonald was out of the closet.
Yeah, that's what I said. You said Norm Macdonald?
I want to Google his name, but there's like other comments here. I have to. I'm pretty sure I know who that is, but.
I'm sorry. Forgive me. I can't recall who that is.
I want to Google it because I'm pretty sure I know who it is. And then Hootie Haha had a couple of comments, and Mark Mealy had some requests. Let's see, this guy, Neil McDonough. Yeah. That's who I thought it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's a more recent out of the closet guy.
Yeah, and I mean, he's still like making rated R movies and stuff.
Darn it.
That's what I'm saying. And I get it. Maybe I'm just a fuddy-duddy as far as that goes, but like say for instance, like Denzel Washington. He's Christian and all that, and he was talking about something the other a while ago, and saying that how easy it is, like being an actor and stuff like that. It's or hard, I can't. Actually, let me not, because I can't. I know that it rubbed me the wrong way, but I can't exactly remember what he said. So I'm gonna stay on there because I don't want to take his words out of context. I don't want to do that disservice. But yeah, I mean, like, we just saw a movie, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
There were some actors that who were these conservatives in Hollywood, and they got together. Right? They got together and they made a movie. Wow, hallelujah. Some conservatives in Hollywood got together and they got their act together, no pun intended, and made a movie. And I watched about 10 minutes of the movie and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Not only was the movie god awful, I don't even remember what the movie was called. It was awful.
I don't either.
And it's like, dude, you got nudity in it. You're exploiting these women, but you guys are the conservatives in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You guys got blessed to be able to get the funding to make this movie, and this is what you did with it? You made a movie that any other liberal could have made. And you wonder why people, they're the same parties. They're just two wings of the same eagle.
Yeah.
There's no difference between them. These are people, the reason why people think that.
Yep.
There's no difference. It's insulting, y'all. It's so insulting. It's like, wow, y'all have this y'all have a long-standing career as actors and directors and producers and things like that, and you got a budget together to make a movie, and this is what you did. Sickening, man.
Pretty gross.
All you did was help the liberals' cause.
Yep.
You helped the cause of the godless. That's all you did. So anyway, let's as we head on out.
Yeah, so Mark Millet, I hope you're still in the chat. He said Ozzy Osbourne passed. Would Zoe think about a cover of Crazy Train or War Pigs, both anti-war songs? Or we could toss in Iron Man and Paranoid as a tribute, since we are asking.
And the thing is, maybe I should have. I did a cover, Last Train to London, and I kind of threw like a little bit of a Ozzy Osbourne cameo in there.
Yes, you did.
But I guess maybe I should throw that out there just as as a farewell to Ozzy. Dang, man, I'm wondering if by the time I do it, it's the way news cycle is going, man. It's like news just passes so fast.
It's kind of a big one, though.
Yeah, I mean,
It might be out of the news cycle, but it will matter for a long time.
you know what? Okay. I mean, I shall try to clear my plate to see if I can get
Yay.
a Ozzy or a Sabbath cover in there, and yeah. Let me juggle which song that I think grooves with me the most. Thank you for the suggestion. Let's see if I can what I can do with it.
Doggone it, Hootie Haha had put a song of yours. He was telling people to share it to their social media page, and the comment went way out of my reach. Here's another one of his, and I'll try to find that while you're tackling this. So, Hootie Haha, off-topic music, secular bands that make seemingly Christian songs fascinate me. Check out the song Lost in Space by Foster the People. It is only a year old, performance on Fallon.
Foster people?
Foster the People.
Foster, oh.
They have another song that I like. It was out like years ago. I recognize that name, but yeah.
Okay.
When I hear secular, because I have to listen to the radio all day at work, when I hear secular bands making music that could be construed as Christian, it is intriguing. It makes you kind of wonder about them, you know?
It's like, yeah, man, you guys have like stumbled on the truth. Go with it.
Right?
You know? Like people that we was talking about, was that Jelly Roll
Yes.
the other day, and just like I was saying, the liberals are fawning over them. It's like, oh, we love this, we want this, we don't want perfect, we want this, and I'm like, well, you guys really gonna hate Jesus? What you want is it seems like you guys like broken people, people who people who are flawed and all that sort of stuff. And don't get me wrong, because Jesus loves people who realize that they're flawed and need Him.
Amen.
But y'all are celebrating Him. Nobody is like saying, it's like, dude, man, in your brokenness, take it to the Lord, the one who can fix you. Nobody's saying that. They're just fawning over Him. And that gives, and see, that's another reason why. This is another reason why suicide becomes so prevalent, and another reason why people stay in their depression, because they get attention that way, right? Even if they're dead, it's like, for one of the reasons for suicidal ideation is because the idea that they'll remember me more fondly when I'm gone.
Yes.
Right? So it's like they almost vicariously see how other people are remembered and memorialized and things like that. For some people, they think that that's the last favor that they can do for people. The world would be a better place without me, and and all that sort of stuff. And because I do this, then they'll appreciate me more in my death, rather than the appreciation that they didn't give me during life. But you'll see how people are the outpouring for the deceased, or the outpouring for the person who's in depression. People want to, they want to come and coddle you, or say that you're being so brave and so bold for letting people know how broken and depressed you are.
Yeah.
So you'll see a lot that's been going on. I don't know how long. I saw that kind of stuff when I was in middle school.
That's true.
All right. And the thing is, it's like, man, get to know who the Lord is. These people I don't see them telling them that. So.
Jay says, I just noticed Zoe is wearing his DMV shirt. Yeah, you haven't gotten your license yet. I hope you didn't make them too mad.
All right. Well, they gave me a copy.
I found the comment. Hootie ha ha says, everybody in the room, go give Zoe some more numbers. Watch the video again, The Politics of Dancing. Then post it on your social media again to generate curiosity in his page, especially from 80s fans. Thank you, Hootie ha ha.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for that, Hootie.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I might do another version of Politics of Dancing, because I did that while I was with the 20 Pound Sledge. We just, we had, I think even at the time, no, I think I did it with a DAW, but we did everything just plugged straight in. We didn't even use amps to record it. It was all direct input. Okay, you go ahead and play this guitar part, and then Kim played Kim Wade. Kim is spelled K-A-M. He's a dude. Sometimes we have to play, and for real, his name is actually Kimberly.
Yeah.
Kimberly Martin Wade, and we just called him Wade. But anyway,
Yes, he preferred that.
right? And he played his track, and I played I tracked up my drum tracks, but it wasn't like a really compelling recording. So I was thinking, man, maybe I'll do that song again and take a better stab at recording it a bit, more proper. So yeah, I really like that song. I'd love to do that song again, The Politics of Dancing. And all that to say, y'all, yeah, I went back on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook, geez, man, I think maybe since 2018. I think I closed my account because there was no point to be there. It's almost like no point to be there now because my numbers, they're like, I was there for like a second. I put up one post and a whole bunch of people could say, hey man, I haven't seen you, where you been, and all that sort of stuff. And then after that, I said, posts just started, the views already started going down, so they're already throttling my stuff. Really no point to be there. But I went back on Facebook because if I haven't mentioned it before, there's some businesses here that, really, cool to me. They let me come in and play guitar, for tips and stuff like that. So that's really cool. So I wanted to show them love, because their bigger social media presence is on Facebook and not on Twitter, and Twitter sucks for me anyway. So I went back on there just to give them some reviews and whatnot. So that's really the main reason why I opened up my Facebook account or reopened it. Other than that, it's hardly any point to be there. But if I'm gonna be there, folks, if I make some posts, I really, if y'all want to help, if I put up a post saying that, hey, I'm gonna be streaming or my music posts, I could really use, I guess, I don't know if it's gonna help the algorithm or y'all. Shadow banning is really bad on me. I mean, content suppression, they got me like really good. It doesn't matter what's it. People try to share. I do see people trying to share my post. Still to this day, nobody sees it.
Yep.
They share my post and there's no response. And it discourages people from sharing my post. They're like, what's the point of doing this? Nobody sees it. So I get it. But I guess something's better than nothing. That's all I can say. Something is better than nothing. And maybe if enough people did it, not a lot of people do it, but enough people did it, maybe it'll glitch the algorithm or something. We'll break through it or whatever. But yeah, I'm on Facebook, Alfonso Rachel. And if you guys want to catch up with me there and, help to promote, leaving those likes and comments to stir some engagement and increase my presence in the feed, maybe it'll work.
Yeah. Miley Stevens is in the chat.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
She says, what's your opinion on Switchfoot?
I didn't, what's the song that they had? Do you remember their kind of breakout song?
I do, but I can't remember the name of it. I can hear the music in my head right now. Yeah.
In terms of like, where they're coming from or their music, I guess I didn't. It's good, it's quality. Maybe
Meant
not.
to live.
Huh?
Meant to live.
Oh man, how does that song go? I can't quite remember, but.
I'm not gonna sing it.
It was like, okay, I can dig this song, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, okay, yeah, Switchfoot, that's my jam, and I can. It wasn't enough to like really pull me in, but it's a pretty good song.
And Dare You to Move, that was another breakup
Dare
song
You to
of
Move.
theirs. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think maybe that's the song that I might be thinking. I Dare You to Move. Well arranged. It's all good progressions and stuff like that. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, but once again, it wasn't enough where it's like, okay, I'm a fan and I'm with it. But I can groove to it. Like if I heard it, it's okay, yeah, that's a good jam right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know you're not asking my opinion, but Switchfoot, when I first became a Christian and I was driving to work every morning, like 2007, 2008. They came on the radio a lot, and I just started to listen to Christian radio, and I was like, whoa, this is actually really good. So they played a huge part in my life, because their music, just like the lyrics and everything, and it was good music, and it was Christian. I was like, wow. It's
one of those things, and once again, I'm not trying to downplay.
Right.
So it's not that. It's like I've long said, like in terms of, and when I say conservative, I'm talking about Christian conservative. You have to have something to base conservatism on. And I'm not putting Switchfoot in a political box or anything like that. But all these things, they end up becoming policy that is going to be, implemented anyway. That starts with the culture. And for us, we're supposed to know that it starts with the spirit. Spirit, culture, politics. Okay? Like I said, Democrats, they do it in the right order.
Yes, they do.
They're first up, they're spiritual. All right? Doesn't mean they're holy. All right? But they're spiritual first. Then they take that into the culture. Then they take that into policy. They do it in the right order. They're doing the wrong thing, but they do it in the right order. For on the right end of the spectrum, they think that this stuff is going to be solved politically, and they're going to be able to influence the culture by politics, and then spirituality somewhere plays in there. All right, it's not really important to them, to your mainstream, Republicans and right wingers. But Switchfoot is what I'm trying to say about Switchfoot. It's like you on the left, you got legions. You have this big inventory of media that they have that they're pumping out. It's like it's a thing to keep you engaged, to keep you roped in. You know what I'm saying? And like with Switchfoot, it was just like, okay, one like kind of crossover. You got Switchfoot or POD, things like that. Not really a whole lot on deck there.
No.
Good bands, but you gotta keep it, it's like bam, okay, try this, bam. It's like an army of them, that have made this crossover that is really impactful. That's one of the things that makes it hard, because it's like, you made your good shot, and that shot is, it made its dent, but not enough to like keep you like, all right, man, this is where the party is, man. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on over here, as opposed to where the left are. They got a whole bunch of stuff for you to just flip through your Spotify with, whatever. And even right now, the market of music is just so saturated that everything is good now. It's like everything's amazing. It's almost like a point where everything is so amazing that it almost amazing becomes mediocre. It's like, oh, another amazing band. Oh, another amazing band. Oh, my goodness. Oh, there's a 6-year-old kid who's doing things on a guitar that it would take me 3 lifetimes to learn how to do. It's so amazing. Yay. It's like, there's just all this amazing stuff out there for you to check out that it just becomes mediocre. I don't know.
The reason why I stopped liking Switchfoot is, as you can imagine, I think it was the lead singer. I think
I heard.
Yeah, they came out and were like, we're totally for gay rights and gay affirming. And and I was just like, no, just stop it.
Kind of went the Hillsong route or That's another, like I said, y'all, if you talk about standards and values, these people who get out there and they're celebrated as, being, whether conservatives or Christians and stuff like that, and you find out that they're more along the lines of liberals and the godless, while calling themselves Christians, and it's really disappointing. And it's sad because, you guys made some good art, man. You did some good art, but you're not really doing it for the Lord. The Lord gave you the talent, and you decided that you wanted to use it for yourselves, and you wanted to appeal to the godless with it. And it's one thing to appeal to the godless, to attract them to the light, but you've appealed to the godless, and instead of you being catalytic, you got changed by them, or you were always trying to appeal to them for your own personal interests, not for the Lord, and to bring them into the truth. So that kind of stuff is really sad.
We have had a new person, Lord Admiral. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce the name, because it's not Lord Admiral, it's Lord Admira 3. And he's been bringing up Catholic topics in the chat, and it's been fun and interesting. And he just suggested Fires of Babylon band. So we'll look that up.
Fires of Babylon.
They might be metal, something like that. It looks like.
Foster was one of the bands, and then Fire of Babylon.
Foster the People was the first one.
Foster the People, and then Fires of Babylon. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the tips.
And last but not least, do you play piano?
I do not. I've kind of gone the way of using programs to make my guitar sound like a piano here and there, or sound like a synthesizer. But no, I'm me and the piano don't really get along. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and hearing my observations on these things, and thank you for sharing yours and your questions and whatnot. Hope you guys have had a good time getting your dose from the Zo Loft. BronzeSerpentMedia.com. Hope you guys come there and become a member if you haven't already. And thank you for y'all who have. And thank you for y'all who dropped that bucket of bucket. Keep the bro Zo on the go. Hope we've got some new viewers who find our content worth supporting and help us grow our enterprise so we can get out there and compete with these people. We don't want to just complain, man. We want to compete. Right? Win people. I don't care if they want to call. Are you soul winning? I don't care. You can call it that if you want to. Right? Okay, y'all. You guys are the grooviest and have a groovy rest of your night and week. Bye.